Good morning, class. This is Mrs. Satterwhite. I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to continue with the Pythagorean theorem. Today, we're going to find hypotenuse, but we're also going to work on finding the legs. So in the first problem, as you know, we're always going to start with the formula. Formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, our a, one of our legs, is 16, our other leg is 12, and our c we do not have. That's our hypotenuse. Our hypotenuse, sorry about that, is always going to be opposite our right angle in our right triangle. So we have a squared, which is going to be 16 squared, plus b squared, which is going to be 12 squared, equals c squared. Now 16 squared means 16 times 16. And 16 times 16 is 256. Please feel free to use a calculator for that. Plus 12 squared, which is 12 times 12. And 12 times 12 is 144. Equals c squared. Now we're going to add 256 plus 144, and we're going to get 400. Therefore, 400 equals c squared. We want c not c squared. We're going to do the inverse. We're going to take the square root. We're going to use our radical sign to take the square root of 400, and we're going to use our radical sign to take the square root of c squared. C, therefore, is going to equal 20. Now here, we're always going to start with our formula, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, if I'm looking at my sides, I know that t is my hypotenuse because it's opposite my right angle. Now, t equals 19 here. My value for s is 17. Value for r, I don't have. So here, instead of missing the hypotenuse, I'm missing one of my legs. I could make SA. So 17 squared plus, I don't have my second leg, so it's just going to stay b squared, equals c squared, which is 19 because they gave me my hypotenuse. So it's 19 squared. It's going to look a little bit different, but we're going to follow mostly the same process. So 17 squared means 17 times 17, which is going to be 289. Plus, since I don't have a value for b, I'm going to keep that as b squared, equals 19 squared, which is 19 times 19, which is going to give me 361. Now, I want to get the value of b, so I really want to get b squared on its own. In order for that to happen, I need to get rid of the 289 from this side of my equation. The way I get rid of a positive 289 is by subtracting 289. Whatever I do to one side of my equation, since it must remain equal, I must do to the other side. Therefore, I'm going to subtract 289 from both sides of my equation. 289 minus 289 gives me 0, so it cancels out. I'm left with b squared equals 361 minus 289, which will give me 72. I'm looking for b, so I'm going to have to take the square root. Square root of b squared equals the square root of 72. b is going to equal, let's see, square root of 72 is 8.48529. It's a little long. We're going to go ahead and round it to the nearest tenth. Therefore, b is going to equal 8.5. Now here, okay, we're going to start with our formula again, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now I'm looking at my right triangle here, and the opposite side happens to be c. And it says find c, so I'm looking for my hypotenuse here. A equals 13 and B equals 10. Okay, so now I have 13 squared plus 10 squared equals C squared. Now 13 squared means 13 times 13, and 13 times 13 gives me 169, plus 10 squared, which is 10 times 10, which will give me 100, equals C squared. I'm going to simply add these two, and I'm going to get 269 equals C squared. Since I'm looking for C, I'm going to use inverse operations, and since this is squared, I'm going to take the square root. Square root of 269 equals the square root of C squared. Therefore, C is going to equal 16.401219. I'm going to go ahead and round that to my nearest tens place. C is going to equal, see I have a 0 after the 4, so we're going to keep that, 16.4. Okay, for our last problem, we're going to be looking for, let's see, we have S, which equals 25. We have T, which happens to be our hypotenuse, and equals 27. And we're looking for one of our legs, which is R here. I'm going to start with my formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A be 25 squared plus B squared, I don't have my second leg, equals C squared, which is 27, so 27 squared. Now 25 squared means 25 times 25, which is going to give me 625, plus, I don't have B, so I'm going to keep it as B squared, equals 27 squared, which is 27 times 27, which is going to give me 729. Now, I want to get B squared by itself. Since this is an equal sign, I have an equation, I'm going to get rid of this 625. In order for me to do that, it's positive. I'm going to have to subtract 625. However, I'm going to have to do that from both sides of the equation since it's equal. So whatever I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other side. 625 minus 625 cancel. I'm going to end up with B squared on this side. B squared is going to equal 104. Because 729 minus 625 will give me 104. I would like to take the square root of B squared equals the square root of 104. Therefore, B equals, it's going to be 10.19803. Let's round that to the nearest tens place, and we're going to get B equals 10.2. For your assignment on Google Classroom, please print these out. You're going to get 2 sheets. Just remember, the hypotenuse is always going to be opposite the right angle. You're going to have QR codes, in which case you're going to be able to check your answers. I want to see all your work, please. So either print it out or do the work on the side on a separate sheet of paper and make sure to take a picture or scan it in and return it to me. Thank you very much. Have a good day.